Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Armchair Pundits podcast. This week, we're breaking down the biggest talking points from this weekend's action in WSL. We're talking about the World Cup qualifier between Nigeria and Congo, and we'll also do Guess the Player. Then we'll take a deep dive fully into WSL's derby weekend where Man City played Man United, Liverpool, not a derby, but don't really like each other. Liverpool played Chelsea. And then we had the North London derby between Spurs and Arsenal, which Rodney was at. We'll also discuss the high-stakes African World Cup qualifier, as I said previously, between Nigeria and Congo. So before we kick off with our normal trivia chaos, we've got Rodney here. Rodney is a sports editor at The Voice Media Group, the UK's leading black newspaper. He's a seasoned author, respected broadcaster and mentor, with decades of experience covering football and the wider sport. Many of you who know him will know that he's one of the founders of the Football Blacklist. That is an incredible initiative that celebrates black excellence and leadership across the football industry. And Rodney has had a career that has spanned 25 years, championing underrepresented voices in sport and holding institutions accountable through the power of journalism. But we'll let Rodney say a little bit more about himself. Say hello to Rodney, guys.
Good evening.
Hey, then, Rodney. Good evening.
Greetings.
So, Nigeria have just lost. So, as you can see right now, I'm a little bit flustered because I wasn't expecting it. So, it's brought my mood down a bit. But obviously, some people are happy. You can see Lamont's face. He's always happy when my teams don't win.
Well, listen, I got to take the small wins, boy. You guys have been dominating for a while, but when you got Bassi taking the first penalty in a penalty shootout, I don't think you guys were confident in going through at all, or even trying to go through by the looks of it.
You never know. We'll see. We'll chop it up. So we'll move forward because, as we always do, we do our Guess the Player. So this week, hopefully, Leon won't guess it in like 10 seconds. But it should be good.
Do we need to raise a hand or something? Cause sometimes I feel like I'm going to get it. Leon gets there, it puts me off. So that's why I take a little bit of time.
That's what's happening.
Weeks. That's what it is. That's why I haven't guessed one right yet.
Is that why last week you said Makalele when he never played for Arsenal? Fair.
I know.
Fair.
Okay, cool. So it's coming up now. As normal, you have a few seconds to guess it, but it's normally minutes. So guess the player, guys.
Wow.
I need to study my badges, bro, because that last badge has got me.
The last badge, is that Birmingham City?
No, not
on
the
right
it is. But yes, on the right hand side it is.
Okay.
But there's more clubs after that.
The last club is, to give you a bit of a cue, the last club is China. It's a club in China.
Newcastle to Wolfsburg.
Any more clues?
Done me like a clipper again,
I know I know Leon's got it, but I think I know who it is.
Rodney, you got it?
No idea. Trust me. I'll stick to women's football at the moment.
So do you want to guess then? Any clue, or do we let Bevan guess and Leon guess at the same time?
Go for it, boys.
Say it again, Leon. You don't know?
Yeah, I know who it is.
Okay. Go on then, guys.
Let me get it wrong then. Obafemi Martins.
That's correct.
Correct.
Yeah, man.
Correct. Obafemi Martins.
Good job.
Wow.
Your AI works well over there, Bev. I'm not gonna lie. You need to get me your laptop like yours, mate.
Love it.
Next time I do it with my hands up in the air.
Yeah, you do that.
Love that.
I think that's what we did on the first one. I made everyone put their hands up just to make sure.
Yeah, but how am I gonna? What would I do? Put in every single team, and then
I know it's like
I can't even type that quick.
Boy. You must be wearing meta glasses or something.
Okay, so that's been done. Well done, guys. So we'll quickly spin back to Rodney.
Yeah.
So, do you want to say a bit about yourself before I say a bit? But it's probably better coming from yourself and what you've done in terms of the. Obviously, you're a writer, author of the Black Lions.
Listen, in simple terms, I'm just a football nut. Just
Cool.
absolutely love it. It's my best life to do it professionally. So every day is a joy. Talking about sport or writing about it, interviewing people. It's been a long career. It's been very, very stimulating. But first and foremost, I'm a football fan.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm an Arsenal fan as well. So I'll get that out of the way nice and early.
Boo, another one.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, just love the game, love all sport generally, but football is my main thing, obviously. Yes, I've written a few books, put together something called the Football Blacklist as well, which recognises the sort of diverse input into football as well, away from, say, the field of play, but in administration, coaching and management and grassroots. So that's about it in a couple of minutes. But essentially, I'm just a football fan, happy and delighted to be here, and thanks for the invite.
Okay, cool. So this week's running order, we'll focus on Man City beating Man United 3-0. It's always good to see Man United lose. Then you had the North London derby, where Rodney was in attendance. And then we'll finish off with Liverpool versus Chelsea. And then we'll move on to Nigeria playing Congo. The game is just finished. And as you can see by my mood, it went one way. And then after that, we will look for our player of the week from the WSL and our moment of the week of WSL. It can be good, it can be a bad moment, whichever way you want. But obviously, it's always good to be positive. And then we'll end it right there. So, Man City fly high, win 3-0, game sewn up in the first half. How did you guys see it?
Miedema was running riot, innit? First 3 minutes in.
Yeah,
Literally.
she bodied Johansson, innit?
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is, I was a little bit surprised when I saw that we dropped the striker that, you know, was pretty dominant in against PSG, Mallard. And
Mallard, yeah.
she's fierce and quick and proper physical. And I feel like that would have probably made a little bit of the difference. Even Rolfo, to be quite honest to you, because both of those have been in fine form. Now, I understand that obviously the stakes were quite high, being that it's PSG, you know, Champions League football and all the caveats around it. So I'm guessing that they left absolutely everything on the pitch midweek. So there probably wasn't much left in the tank for them to play in the Manchester derby. But I'm not going to lie to you, I was so disappointed because, you know, on the back of the Villa performance last week, we kind of galvanized ourselves, went and played against PSG and showed that, you know what, we got quality, we can deliver when, you know, the stakes are high. And then you kind of drop probably a couple of your best players on the weekend. It could have been, granted it could have been, you know, warranted, but you drop your two of your best players on the weekend and then, you know, it kind of shows because City just run riot pretty much, you know. Like I said to you earlier, Miedema was just running the show. Could have had a goal first 3 minutes in. And it was just a little bit disappointing, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it was a surprise for me as well because having watched Mallard boss that PSG defence midweek, I expected a lot better from United yesterday. But I think it is testimony to the lack of squad depth as well for United, whereby a couple of key players come out and you can't replace them with the same quality. Hugely disappointing. But that said, I'll be honest with you, I think Man United are punching above their weight a little bit in the league. I think they've been a progressive team over the last couple of seasons, made some good purchases as well. But I just think that position there yesterday, it's not false. So well done to Mark Skinner for developing what he's developing there, right? But third in the WSL is not a bad shout.
Yeah, you can't grumble.
And I think they might have got away with it as well with Tottenham drawing with Arsenal today. and Chelsea drawing against Liverpool of all teams today. So in a way, United got away with it a little bit, I think, in terms of the league table. Because either in the North London derby, if there'd been a winner there, they would have gone third, and I think onto 18 points. So I think United got away with it. I think United might be more a Champions League team this season in terms of turning up for big games. Mallard was a beast midweek.
Yeah, proper.
I'd had my doubts about her previously, but she showed up midweek. And of course, what we do with football, we look at that performance and think, bang, you're going to take that into the
next
derby,
game.
And next game, and you get smashed.
Yeah,
and you get smashed by a very good Man City team, by the way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who
it's true.
have underachieved just of late. Yeah.
But I think Man City are benefiting from not playing in Europe as well, because their team is fresh, playing once a week, and the combination of Shaw, Miedemar, and Hemp is very hard for teams to come up against. And yesterday they were in form. They couldn't really deal with them three, and I think that like United had some glimpse that there was they had they had half chances, or they did a lot in it, got getting to the final third, but then nothing was really coming of it because they didn't really have a shot on goal. And you would have thought that there were some moments from Park where she looked a bit jinky, and then it was just the final ball wasn't really there. So I think
do you know what it is? We talk about statement wins as well, don't we? As you said, I think City are benefiting from not playing the midweek weekend scenario, right? They can sit at home, watch United bust a gut midweek, knowing that they're coming to our house now. Let's make a statement, and that's what they did. I mean, Bunny Shaw hasn't been at her very best, but she's still the top goal scorer, right? Yeah. And you cannot underestimate what Hemp does for Bunny's game as well. Those crosses coming in. Hemp's a quality player.
She's a willing runner as well. Willing runner.
Absolutely right. You know, they've got a solid defence. And I tell you what, I've got to give the new coach, I've totally forgotten his name at City, right? But I've got to give him the most credit because he's just made a few tweaks. I'd always thought that City were underachievers, and of course they've got no silverware as yet. But he's just made a few tweaks, and they seem to be working at the moment. But all I can tell you this, City will need to continue to win games because when that Chelsea machine turns up and starts winning week in, week out, you cannot afford to slip. You know Chelsea will go on a run.
Yeah.
But City don't play none of the top five in the next 5 games, I think. They got quite a few. Their next run of games is quite favourable for them, really.
I was going to just about to say both Arsenal and City have still got to go to Chelsea's home ground.
Yeah, they do.
So there's 6 points there. If you understand what I'm saying, those 6 points could be key. I'm not discounting Man United, obviously, but at this stage, you think the nearest rivals will still be Arsenal. I think they'll come good. I think City, with no midweek football, can focus properly on this. And every game they gain that confidence. So, but they've still got to go to Chelsea. So there's 6 points there up for grabs for somebody.
Well, interestingly, they've made it towards the end of the season. The 1st of February, Man City host Chelsea at home, and the week after is Arsenal versus Man City. So that's a back-to-back.
Okay, right. Okay,
that could change the title.
Yeah, it could change. But isn't it fantastic that we're talking about the WSL now as a competitive league?
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah. I mean, okay, Chelsea could come and steamroller it still. But as I said earlier, United have improved. Arsenal are European champions. Didn't play like it today, admittedly, in the North London derby, yeah? City are doing what they're doing. Chelsea will be back. Chelsea are not going anywhere. If I had my last 10 pence, I'd still put it on Chelsea to win the league.
Their squad depth is ridiculous. They've got
amazing.
Do you think in that Man City game that Nat could have got sent off or should have been sent off? I know we don't.
I was saying that.
We're going to keep 11 people on the pitch.
It's borderline. You've seen them not given, but she was fortunate, I would say.
Yeah. Well, tackle from behind. She wasn't really going to win it.
But I don't know. It could be a referee that, like Michael Oliver, doesn't like to interrupt the flow of the game. And wants to make sure he keeps as many players on the list.
Touche. Absolutely touche. Yeah.
So, okay. So we'll move on. Arsenal 0-0. What? It was a surprise. I was expecting more. Tottenham have had the best start at the WSL that they've ever had.
Yeah.
And their new manager has come in and he's shored up the defence. They've got a new centre-back whose name just escaped me this second, but I'll remember it in a minute. But it was a gritty performance from Tottenham, but I'd say under par performance from Arsenal. Having to make changes at half-time.
Yeah, absolutely right with that. Tottenham, well-coached football team now. I think year on year they've improved, or certainly this season they've improved.
Not last season,
defensively. Not last season, but certainly now I'm looking at them, and they played their home game today at Brisbane Road, the home of Leyton Orient, and they had a record crowd there. I think it was about 6,780, which is good. When your local rivals come, I suppose the numbers go up. But Tottenham, a little bit like United, maybe not as developed as United, I can see making progress under this new coach. I like what I see already. Arsenal, certainly under par. Very tired performance. Maybe a lack of confidence as well. Don't forget, they were 2-0 up, weren't they, during the course of the week against Bayern?
Yeah.
And went on to lose that game 3-2, remarkably. So their Champions League spot is under pressure. And I just get the impression Arsenal just going through that phase that they always seem to go through. And then they wonder why they don't win titles in terms of, say, the WSL. Because for 2 or 3, you cannot sleep on Chelsea. I'm going to keep saying that. If you're going to take advantage, because it's certainly advantage Man City in terms of the WSL this weekend. You know, they won their game and all their rivals dropped something. But I just think Chelsea was stormed back. But the North London derby, Tottenham have got some really good players. I think we know about the Arsenal players, but I think in terms of Tottenham, out on the wing, Jessica Naz had a good game.
Yeah, she did.
She had a really good game. The centre half, and I can't remember the name either, unfortunately.
Really
solid. Really solid. Right. And I tell you who had a really stunning game in front of the back four. Jess Carter. Bit of a veteran, been around forever. Is it Carter or is it Spence? Spence, sorry, my apologies. Yeah, she had a really solid game in front of the back four. In terms, you know, when you talk about that experience amongst new and fresh faces, that's what she provides. Yeah. And okay, a couple of games into the season, I don't think we want to make too many predictions about Tottenham, but I can certainly see some shoots of positivity there for sure.
Yeah, I can't see them, getting into European spot, but you can definitely see them getting a mid-table finish, especially once Arsenal have found form. And I guess you can see it's consistency. That's the thing for Tottenham right now. Having that, I think the season before last, they finished mid-table, and then last season to literally finish second from bottom was, it wasn't you can see the team was lacking a lot of confidence. But I think Martin Ho's come in, he's made tactical changes, playing a 4-2-3-1. There's definitely more solidity, especially in that midfield, having Sumanen and Spence protecting the back four. You've got experience there, and it gives the forward players a little bit more freedom to try and attack and sort of create chances. I felt like today, from Arsenal's perspective, I thought their best chance of being able to break Tottenham down came in wide areas. But you just felt like the final pass or the final ball just wasn't good enough. And there was a lot of crosses that were cut out by the goalkeeper, Kopp, who had a pretty good game. I wouldn't say that she had to make any outstanding saves, but everything that came in the box from a cross was pretty much dealt with by her. And the Tottenham defence cleared their lines quite well. So I think, for Arsenal, obviously it's been a disappointing week. They would have felt, considering how these derby games have gone in the past, they would have expected to get the victory, but for Tottenham, it's definitely a step in the right direction. Hopefully, they can build on this and continue on throughout the season.
What do you think the cause is? Because there's the 5th draw this season compared to last season. Is it just new players trying to settle in players that have left and players that are coming in?
You're talking about Arsenal?
Yes.
From my perspective, God, this is going to sound a little bit harsh. It's a bit like the men's team in a way, where they'll pass you to death, but come sharp shooting time, there's that extra pass all the time. And I think defences are aware of that now. Olivia Smith came on for the second half and created havoc down the right-hand side. Ball was going in, but there was no finishers there.
No.
So there's a lack of a killer instinct for Arsenal, and I just think sometimes it's the extra pass. They'll pass you to death. They'll break the lines. Everything perfect. Come the final third or in the penalty box, there is still something missing. I know Russo's been a success there, but I think when she's not scoring, who is? I think Smith has made a difference with her pace, obviously. And I want to give a shout out to Taylor Hinds, my namesake, who played for Jamaica in one game as a friend, is now playing for England, and came on and did a really good job at left back. She'll have to wait her time a little bit because Katie McCabe is the number one left back there. But good to see Taylor there. But I just think Arsenal lack a killer instinct. And that is what's probably cost them in recent times and may well cost them in the league this season as well. Get the job done.
I was surprised they didn't bring on Chloe Kelly earlier in the game. Is that due to an injury? Is she coming back from injury?
I was asking the question as well because, Chloe's confident. She's a match winner at the highest level. We've all seen that. I can only presume, and I didn't manage to get into the press conference with the Arsenal boss, but she can only be. Why are you giving her 5 minutes, if that?
Crazy.
When she's an obvious game changer.
Yeah.
And I think possibly the coach needs to shake it up a little bit as well in terms of personnel. I know they've played in midweek as well, but guess what? Arsenal have spent an awful lot of money to expand that squad and bring quality to it. And you still seem to you're relying on the same starting 11 more times than not.
I think Smith needs to start.
She was starting in the beginning of the season, but then
she was.
When they changed to a 4-4-2, they swapped her with Beth Mead. Do you think that there's because of the injury to Kim Little that has changed things as well?
Yeah, I mean Kim Little's the dynamo of that team. She's a captain. She makes things happen. But I just can't understand that if she's not injured, why Chloe Kelly. I'm a great believer in start with your best players and then peel off from there. Yeah, that's my opinion. But it doesn't seem to be happening at the moment. And I think it's going to cost Arsenal. They may well, like last season, be more suited to maybe cup competition where they can turn up for 1 or 2 big games and get it done. I don't know over a WSL season. From what I've seen so far, if they're going to get past City and or Chelsea. We'll see.
Okay. So we'll move on to what some people said is upset. Watching it, I thought we probably should have won the game. Liverpool drawn with Chelsea. There was a lot of huff and puff from Chelsea, but I gave my player of the match to central midfielder Nagamano. I said it last week. I think she's an excellent defensive midfielder. She covers the pitch extremely well. Whenever there's a breakdown, she always seems to read the game well. And today, she was superb, in my opinion. I think they gave the player of the match to Olsen. Obviously, goal scorers get the limelight.
When you're running with the ball from the halfway line, bruv, what do you expect?
Well,
do you get what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? She had a lot to do. It wasn't easy.
Yeah, it was a good goal.
It wasn't easy at all, man. It was a great finish.
But I was disappointed with Chelsea because you need to watch star power, as Rodney said, it's everywhere. The players come off the bench. I was happy that Lauren James didn't start because she's
the maverick, isn't it?
Yeah. Superb player. But when she came on, we managed to handle her, if I'm being completely honest. She got into a few pockets here and there, but we marshalled really well. And then towards the end of the game, we had a 3-on-2 towards the end, or a 2-on-2, and the tiredness caught up. I was surprised that Gareth Taylor didn't make any subs.
Not one for the entire game.
I was screaming towards the end of the game, we're going to get caught just through tiredness. Not through anything else, just through the lack of energy to close down in the last minute. And I don't know, is it a positive? Do you guys think that he's trusting what he's got? Or could it be a case where players sitting on the bench thinking, I could have helped out, we probably could have won if he brought me on the pitch?
I think sometimes when a manager has a game plan and the players have executed the game plan, he would not have expected you guys to have been able to hold off Chelsea. Obviously, they had a midweek game as well, but it was in Austria, which is not that far, and they played on Tuesday rather than Wednesday, so they would have had enough time to prepare for the game. But I think he's probably just more worried about breaking, I guess, the rhythm that you guys have built, or the team have built in that time, and making a change can sometimes disrupt that. And they got a result. That's a result that Liverpool can say that they really needed and wanted, because they haven't won a game yet. And obviously, thinking about you're playing a team that hasn't lost in 34 games, 34 games unbeaten is a record in WSL. So to come back from 1-0 down, I think an early goal I think it's Thompson scored an early goal.
Yeah, Lisa Thompson.
He wants to get a point. And I think for Liverpool, again, I think the same thing with last week. The performance of the team is what he's kind of building and trying to get confidence, and that's what they need. So as long as they can keep building on the performances that they've started to show after all of those defeats, I think they can put a little run together once they get some of those easier fixtures.
Yeah, but I don't know when them easier fixtures are coming, because it feels like this game, the last game, and then the next game is like a baptism of fire for them. Honestly, do you know what I mean? Who's done these fixtures? Honestly, but listen, you got to play them at some point, right? And what better time to play them when you're in form? Well, you know what I mean, like when you're playing good football. So yeah, I mean, you could see how much they loved the equaliser, and they just stayed strong to kind of see it out. And Chelsea were trying ever so hard to unlock the door, but they just couldn't find the right key. So, do you know what I mean? Well done, Liverpool, man.
I think Chelsea should have gone 2-0 up, though. I think Macario had a great chance to score, and she's put it just past the post.
Yes,
where the keeper was on the floor. So
it's why we love the game, though, guys, isn't it? That you think Liverpool, Chelsea, that's 4-0, that's 3 points on the board. Chelsea keep marching on, but we love the game because if we could predict it all the time, it wouldn't be as much fun. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be as much fun. And I tell you what, that result today, I'll go on a little bit of a limb here, is probably the result that will keep Liverpool in the division. I think they'll gain so much confidence from last weekend. And this weekend, maybe more so this weekend, based on the quality of the opposition. Yeah. And he's a good coach. He's been around the block, WSL wise. He now needs to get into their heads, and he's probably not changed it based on what you said, because he wants those players to execute the game plan. Yeah, and he's probably going to be training during the course of the week, saying, "You've done it against the WSL champions. You can do it against XYZ." So I think there's a worse team in the WSL than Liverpool, if I'm honest. I don't know who exactly that's going to be, but they now have 2 points. Still haven't won a game, but one win, and they're in the mix. They're approaching mid-table again. That's the beauty of the WSL, So, real confidence booster for them. And of course, we've got to take into account the Diogo Jota passing as well, because it's affected the whole club, not just the men's team. From what I gather, the whole club, there's a shroud there, so we got to bear that in mind. They're professionals. They're paid to do their work, obviously. But I say, well done, Liverpool. I think, I was obviously at the North London derby, and the press box was saying no. And everyone believed that Chelsea, as they normally do, would do a lastminute.com goal. You know what I mean? Chelsea, 89th minute, 98th minute, or something of that nature. And we thought, it didn't come. But even they got out of jail, Chelsea, with Arsenal drawing, Tottenham drawing, Man United losing. So, it's game on. It's game on, this WSL. It's going to be really, really exciting. And I'm really enjoying it, to say the truth. Really enjoying it.
So, we'll move on to, I won't say my favourite part of the show today, but high stakes showdown, Nigeria versus DR Congo. African Nations World Cup qualifier. Bit of history. Nigeria did not qualify for the last World Cup, and we struggled. We've had 3 or 4 managers in this qualification period, and we managed to bring it together the last 2-3 games. And I'll be honest, I went into today confident because of the semi-final was a good win. We missed a few chances, but we ended up scoring 3 goals in extra time. And I can't help but think that Osimhen going off injured was costly for us.
Definitely injured, yeah?
Well, it's half time. I can't. You're not taking off Osimhen at half time for anything other than an injury. You can't. You wouldn't. So I believe it was half time. Let me make sure, but I'm pretty sure it was half time.
Yeah, it was just after half time, literally. Yeah. I think it's when they came out, to be honest.
So my frustration is we've got defenders galore, we've got strikers galore, we've got wingers that play at top clubs, but our midfield is our big problem, and we don't have a good engine room. And you saw it throughout the game. We'd pass the ball along the back, we'd pass it into midfield, then pass it back to defenders, then we'll launch a long ball. And it's like, where is the build-up play? We've got so many players playing at good clubs across Europe, and we just can't seem to string passes together to actually be coherent and to show our quality. So we started a bit late today because I was watching it. I was disappointed. And man, to not go to the World Cup next year, it hurts. I can't even lie. It hurts. So
yeah, I think that's going to be a big miss, though. I think Nigeria will be a big miss because they come with a lot of fans. Do you know what I mean? And they're bright and they're loud. Do you know what I mean? They come with the noise, but and to be honest, you guys usually come with quality as well, James.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to ask a few questions though, because obviously the Osimhen taking him off for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure someone will find that out before we end this pod, hopefully. But the other question that I've been asking before we started recording is who decides to put a centre-back in Calvin Bassey as a first penalty taker?
Well,
just because he can dance well and he's got a loud...
volunteered, bro. He's volunteered.
Who?
He's obviously volunteered to take a pen. There's other guys that didn't want to take one. It's pressure. Yeah. It's pressure. And the whole nation's going to be on you if you don't score. So for him to step up, you got to give him credit for having the guts to do it. But, if you're going to do it, you got to hit the target. And unfortunately, it's not the only one that missed. There's definitely a couple of other people that missed in that shootout.
Yeah, agreed.
I can't remember who took one. He actually managed to sit the goalkeeper down, or the goalkeeper's gone down early, and he still hit it straight at him. So
Moses Simon's one.
Yeah. So you can't just blame him. I think there's 3 or 4 that have missed pens in the shootout, and I think obviously for Nigeria it's hugely disappointing. But they've had a very, very, as James said, difficult qualification period, because to have had so many managers, then you've had the issue with payments, players almost going on strike for this particular or the previous qualifying.
Not almost. They did.
What they did.
They didn't train for 2 days.
So that kind of helped.
And that's an issue I have a massive problem with, the off-field stuff. Mm-hmm. Because with all due respect, it's been around forever, hasn't it, really? Yeah. Whether it be African, Caribbean nations in terms of their football, right? And while it can't be blamed for missing a penalty, it doesn't help. Because I think the days of, we've seen it with other so-called smaller nations from Africa, Cape Verde, et cetera, making progress, right? I think the days of, we are Nigeria, we're going to get it done regardless, they're done. And I just think it needs a level of professionalism on and off field, by the way, to have this great nation not taking place in the ultimate football showcase is sad, because they bring something special. But it's been a chaotic qualification period, and really today just really summed it up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's been chaotic for a while, hasn't it? And you can't afford to do that. It's a little bit, if we go to if we use England as an example, people are saying, oh, well, England have got 18 points out of 18 or whatever it is. They didn't concede. That is the starting point and foundation of getting to a World Cup. What you do in the States next year is obviously something different. Yeah. But sometimes I think, and they're not alone, certain nations, but we're talking about Nigeria right now.
Cameroon didn't make it either.
It's
a big nation.
Yeah, it seemed like it was just doomed to fail just based on the qualification. And yet there was another chance in terms of getting through, you know what I mean? And they still weren't good enough to take it. So it just tells you that maybe it's more than a simple problem. That's all I can say.
Well, questions will be asked, because I don't see the manager getting sacked, because obviously we've got African nations just around the corner, starting next month. But we need to look further afield and find, this is my opinion, find some centre midfielders that can actually help us with our style of play. Because I look at other nations and you see them passing through the thirds, playing a good passing game. And ours, we've had it back before. We've had it in the past where you see magic. You see good goals that Nigeria score. Now it's if Osimhen does not score, Nigeria do not do well. And that's not how it should be. Considering we've got the African Player of the Year in Lukman, which unfortunately he's had a horrible spell at Atalanta. So that's obviously disrupted his season and his spell. I think he only got one goal in the qualifiers himself. But we need to find a way to move forward. Because the coach we've got is not a fantastic coach, but he's done well in African tournaments with other African nations. So it seemed to be a good addition, but it's ended in misery at the moment. And I just have to look forward and look towards the African nations and hope that we show the best of ourselves. Because
how do you think you're faring how do you think you're going to fare in AFCON?
If it continues like this, we'll get out of group stages, but we'll get knocked out. Because we have this pattern where we will play well, and then all of a sudden, it's almost like someone pulls the plug on Nigerian players, and they just start passing around, and there's no drive, there's no energy. It's almost like they're waiting just to win the game. And as Rodney has said, there's other nations that have come up that don't do that. They're more energetic. They go for your throats. And you lose games like that.
I felt like DR did that today. Yeah. They were on the ascendancy for most of the game. They looked like they tried to win it in normal time, where you just felt like Nigeria were almost playing for pens, which is just too risky.
You know, I think clearly there is so much talent. Just the size of the country, all the top players playing around Europe, right? So the talent is not an issue. It's about structure and someone putting that together. I had the privilege of being at the Emirates yesterday, Brazil, Senegal, right? So we know about, say, Brazil and this talent that they've had for decades. World Cup winners aplenty. Who's in charge of them now? Carlo Ancelotti. Right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say for the first time, but I saw some structure there. I saw almost European type thinking in terms of defending as a team, working hard off the ball. Because as we know, if you can work hard off the ball, that's as valuable as working with the ball. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I saw some structure, right? Because when it comes to talent, I'm not saying Nigeria at the same level as Brazil, but there is still talent there. And somebody needs to be trusted, given time. That's another issue. To, as you said, James, develop something. What's the playing style of Nigeria? You said you have no midfielders, so someone needs to be put in charge and literally roadmap where this talent's going to go. Because I saw something similar. I was taken aback a little bit with how Brazil had almost a European feel about them. Yeah. Yes, I know a lot of the players are playing in Europe, but I could see a defensive structure, a team structure that I hadn't seen for a long time. So that's probably what needs to happen, I think, with Nigeria.
You're not wrong. There is a lack of organisation within the team setup. You're 100% right there. But good luck to DR Congo.
Absolutely.
They'll represent Africa well in the tournament, and whatever group they get put in, that they can qualify from that group. So we move on. Player of the week in the WSL. So star performer, as we always do, we start with Lamont.
To be honest, I'm probably it normally starts with me. I'm thinking Hemp was giving us a lot of problems, so I'm gonna have to go for her, man. She was at it. It was probably going to be close between her and Niedemar, to be honest. But yeah, Niedemar she was doing what she does every week. But yeah, Hemp was the difference, so I'm gonna have to give it to her this week.
Evan,
she stole my player. I was going to give it to Hemp as well because she was everywhere, man. She was controlling everything in that game, and I think most of the good stuff came through her as well. So yeah, she took the corner for the first goal, scores a rocket, so I'm going to give it to him.
Leon?
I'm going to be biased on this one. I'm going to give it to Spence today after he's contributed to helping get a draw in the derby for Spurs. So I'll give it to Drew Spence.
I'm going to go with that one as well. I thought she was brilliant, Drew, today. Really experienced, sat in front of the back four, bossed it. There was no way through for Arsenal. And if there was, she cut it off at the source. So I'm going to go for her as well.
I'm going to be a little bit biased as well. And listen, we're bottom of the league, so our players need to give me some confidence. But I gave it to her last week, and I think she was fantastic again this week. So Nagano for me. I'm just hoping we don't get another situation where Arsenal and Chelsea and everyone can't take our best player like they've done this season. So Nagano gets it for me. So we'll move on to our moment of the weekend.
Right. Me again, yeah? I'm not giving it back to Hemp. You can forget that because she's given us our 2 games losing streak. Do you know what I mean? After going 9 games unbeaten. It's not happy about that at all. But I think I'm just going to have to give it to Olsen because that was a hell of a run. She never put a foot wrong, ran across the defender and just slotted it right past the keeper. So, yeah, I'm going to have to give it to Olsen, to be fair, for Liverpool. It does hurt me to say I'm giving Liverpool something, yes, but I'm going to give it to them this week because I can't give it to him.
I was going to give the moment of the week to Hemp, but I've already given a player of the week. So I'm going to give the moment of the week to Alyssa Thompson because that goal she scored was an absolute banger, man. Cracker. She came on the inside and whipped it far corner. The keeper had no chance, and the defender just probably should have shut it down. But yeah, great finish. So that's what's going to be my moment of the weekend.
Thompson for me as well. She's probably been Chelsea's most potent striker in the last couple of weeks. Scored at the Emirates against Arsenal the week before as well. And the one this weekend was worthy of a couple of replays. So yeah, I'll go with Thompson.
I'll go with Hemp for the goal. Well, moment of the weekend. It's a strike that I didn't expect her to take from where she was, but she's caught the keeper off guard, and it's a great strike into the roof of the net. So I'll give it to Hemp.
Not going to be biased, so I am going to go for a team that's pushed us to the bottom of the table. West Ham hadn't won a game also, and for them, I know Everton are just above them at the moment. But for them to win 3-1 today, really good performance from them. When I looked at the highlights and there wasn't a bad player. Looking at the stats as well, they completely dominated that game and they only conceded a goal in the 88th minute. So West Ham as a team, that's my moment of the week, them winning and winning well. So that's it for this week, guys. A bit shorter than normal. Because we're not mixing up a lot of what we normally do, but can't hide my disappointment. Nigeria not here. I woke up. I'm not sure if I'm going to sleep very well tonight, but I'll try.
Look forward to AFCON. You can look forward to AFCON. That's the next tournament. So just don't focus on the World Cup now. That's out of reach.
Listen, right now I've got Liverpool disappointing me, Nigeria disappointing me.
Yeah,
I don't know where to look. Next week, international break for women. So there won't be a WSL show. We'll be back to Premier League next week. But obviously, as soon as the international break is over, we'll be back on WSL. But yeah, Rodney, it's been good having you.
Yeah. Thank you very much indeed, guys. I've enjoyed it. Always enjoyed talking football. Always enjoy it.
No, we appreciate your time. So thank you.
No worries at all.
Rodney. Always welcome.
Hope to see you again. Yeah, thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Guys, this has been Armchair Pundits. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, and to hit the notification button. Take it easy, guys. Peace out.
Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Peace.